What if every difficulty that you have experienced in your life was due to a lack of self-belief? What if you lacked confidence in yourself because you lacked self-belief? Or you couldn't find your right career because you lacked self-belief? Or you went broke. You don't have any money because you lack self-belief. And what if you could heal, and the only reason you couldn't heal physically, mentally, emotionally was because of a lack of self-belief? I can tell you that's true. That's all that it ever is. I know this because I've lived it, but also because I've coached for more than 35 years, and every client that I've ever met, experienced, worked with had lack of self-belief. That's all that it is. We were all born with what we needed to evolve and create the lives we want and all of that. But we don't always believe that. I didn't believe that because it's always a progression. We're never done. When we come into the world, we have to figure out who we are. It's an exploration into our internal selves, our authentic selves, and that journey can be challenging. The reason that journey is challenging is because when we come into the world, we have all these other things within us, all of these lower vibrational energies and traits and all of that that we must move through if we're going to hope to believe in ourselves, because every person was born to do something. Every person has this gift that they were supposed to bring to the world, but we have to fight through that self-doubt all the time. And I've done it, and I do know. And I'll tell you the story about it because I'm changing that. The message that's on my site today, any advice for today, is called "Take the Next Step." That's all of us. When we take the next step, it means we become willing to discover more of who we are. That's in our consciousness. Consciousness is always evolving. No one has more than another. We just decide how much we're going to accept and believe. Did a channeling session on the eclipse, and I've had to listen to it several times to understand, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this is true. Because see, my Wilhelm would say, we've given you everything that could heal your life and the world. And I thought, I doubted that. That self-belief was really coming up strong, but I also know it's true. And the way that I know it's true because of what I've experienced. I've spoken of certain things about my healing, physical healing. We can go have many others, and I'm going to publish so much more of this now because I'm taking that next step. But we will have limitations in our thinking about what we can accomplish. That is individually and also collectively in our world. That's just what it is. We have this collective consciousness, and we each live in that space. And if we're not willing to step outside of it, we don't develop that self-belief, or we don't become our authentic selves, which is why we were born. But that journey can be really long sometimes. I'm 73, so I can tell you I understand, and I know how scary it is at times. But the other side of it is that you start to believe in yourself, and miraculous things begin to happen. I recorded a video some time ago about my cluster headaches because I suffered from cluster headaches for decades. You can find that video online. But see, that was the thing that society, medical establishment said there's no cure. I found the cure. I found the cure. And I'm just telling you, that's what happened. I no longer have them. After suffering for decades where my life was just controlled by them, they're gone. Backache. Have you had that? These little aches and pains that go all over your body, and sometimes they're just really horrible. Yeah, I did that too because I couldn't get up so much because of that. And then I was told when I was about 26, oh, you're going to have surgery because you're never going to be able, you're not going to be able to walk. Look at your spine. Look at what's happening to you. I didn't do the surgery. I said, there's something else. I had other things going on, all of them. And all of them were due to my lack of self-belief. That's all it is. So then in 2020, when I was told, I started seeing the world changing. I go, oh, wait a minute, something else is happening now. When I started channeling and writing Wilhelm in 1988, it was never my intention to give it to anyone because it was my personal journey. And it was healing my life and giving me information that I couldn't believe. But telling others about that was too challenging because they're never going to believe it. Because we have this cognitive dissonance, you see, that means that we will be presented with something and say, this is possible. And then our old beliefs and our programming say, no, we can't do that. I've talked about that so much because you can see it if we look at our history of things that people couldn't do before, and then all of a sudden people are doing them. But telling folks that they could do that is also really challenging because you'll get pushback. You'll have people who will not believe you. Even my family couldn't understand what I was talking about, but then it showed up. All the things that I had moved through from the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual level had been healed. That's called ascension. And when I talk about this and the work that I have and the philosophy is about everyone understanding this is my work is a combination of self-actualization, personal development, and ascension, meaning that you come to understand who you are. You come to love yourself and you come to understand your soul mission because everyone has one. It's just going to look very different, but every single soul has it. But to tell people that was really challenging because I knew they're not going to believe it. In 2021, when I first put out the program and I told people, listen, this could change everything for you. And anyone can afford it. That was the other thing. Any person could afford this if they wanted to really come into that self-belief. And then people would look at the videos that I have up there and say, and people would speak about this and say what happened to them. And then people said, no, it's not possible because we have this disbelief. And I understand it because I had it as well. It didn't make any sense that I was able to do this kind of work and bring things into the world, but that's what's happened. But this is also why I opened the Ascension Circle. What's happening in the world and what's you're experiencing is that we're evolving. It's a mass ascension is what I talked about, and it's going on globally. And it's not going to end for a while, and I can see all of that. I've been given all of this information, but I'll tell you something else. I receive information before it actually shows up in the world. Accepting that was really, really challenging, but now you can do it too. If you go to my website, anyadvicefortoday.com, and start from today and just go, but no, go back a year. Go back to April the 10th. And then from that point on, just read all the messages and you will see the progression. Because I would receive information that said we can evolve individually and collectively if we take these steps. We don't do it all at once. No one does. And then you're going to have to understand a lot of people aren't going to do that, which is why we see conflict, why we see wars, why we see anger, why we see division, is because some people are not going to want to move to that higher state of understanding and beingness that is within them, because we all have it. We just will choose on our path if we're going to do it, if we're going to do it now. But I'm doing it now. That's what I'm doing. So I just wanted to give you this video because what I'm doing tomorrow is I'm starting to work with this other company that, and I'm so thrilled they're going to put all of this together because I'm going to retire at some point. I'm going to leave all of this work. And if I put all of it, I'm not a tech person, so I always need help with this. So I'm going to have them put all this together so that I can actually put the program out there for $5,000, which it should be so much more than that for what people are paying for results in terms of figuring out who they are, becoming confident. Yeah, I should be doing that. And that's what we're going to start doing now. But you can check it out now. But I also have the free Ascension Circle. You can look at that and hear all the information. And because I put up the channeling sessions, I put in my messages there, all that. So you can see all of that. And to tell you how I know this works and why it's also guaranteed. When you listen to the one video, it's a 10-minute testimonial video that people did, and I'll link it here in this video. And there's one person in there, Darren, who I never met. Never met him. He just did the program on his own, and it changed his life. And he says it right there. I've never met him online or anything. He didn't come to any of the calls or any of that. He just sat and he just did the work. And the more of us who do that, then we change not only ourselves, and then we help to change our world. Everything is created energetically, our world, our lives, and we have to decide how happy we're going to become, how much we're going to love ourselves and put that into the world and start to shift things. But I will tell you, it's going to be a little bumpy for a while. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And the way that it gets better is when you decide to love who you are and start to believe in yourself. I want nothing more than that. Please join the circle. Check out the links for the program if you're interested in that. But like I said, it's going to be changing because I'm putting all of this 35 years of work, it's going into this. Have a wonderful day.